This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they interplay here. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus.
Like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Not sure what you thought, but I thought it was appropriate when he walked into our meeting with his arm totally encased in ice, because he threw 5 touchdown passes last week and won the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award.
Yeah, but reading the paper this morning, and he said, gosh, I actually thought I should have got 6 or 7. But still, it was an amazing performance a week ago.
Boy, I tell you what, if he thought he should have had 6 or 7, that's a guy's an absolute perfectionist, not just greedy.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Danielle Hunter in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And he'll power his way up near the 25. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Deep ball for Goodwin. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. That's taken on the 25. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And this will be caught at the 30. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there for Minnesota. 57 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Now, this is a crew. They've come out flat their last two games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The drive starts with a handoff to McKinnon. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
120.
Here's McKinnon. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Taken in at the 11. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got him the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley dancing away at the 30. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A tremendous play there from Saquon Barkley. 45 yards on the ground. Yardage-wise, he's in the top handful of backs in the league so far this season. A great run there.
He's going to love that standing when it comes to contract time. But even more so, his team loves it because he gives them an identity and sets a tone.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Leopard! Leopard! Over!
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Leopard! Leopard! Over!
On 3rd down, Barkley. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play it.
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And the 49ers getting set to trot out there. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage. Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Well, earlier in the quarter when the defense was keen on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play, because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Might have needed just one more block as it stands. 37-yard return. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Now Saquon Barkley, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now Jackson on 2nd down. This is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Everson Griffin in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long.
120, 180.
On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to the booth right after this. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. Here's Bradley Pinion now. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Taken in at the 22. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Minnesota. And they have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
They begin with a run by Barkley. And, a little spin cycle. Room to run now. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Carlson now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. Thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Back to the air on 2nd. It's Garoppolo. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Throwing on first is Garoppolo. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But an alert 49er able to gain possession, so they will indeed hold on to the pigskin. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Taylor. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Garoppolo on first down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Here we go.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. He's going to field this at the 4. A good return there, 17 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. And going deep for Hill. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time. And it's 2nd down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Lucky 56.
Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We'll begin with a couple of teams that played for the NFC title as recently as the 2014 season. Green Bay taking on Seattle. And it's the Packers who are out in front in the second quarter. The Packers locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. From there, we take the long plane ride back to Florida to check on the Dolphins at home in Miami. And they've got the lead in their matchup with the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Dolphins trying to hold on and claim victory. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson. His guys have just about put this one on ice already. As for the call of the second half, we turn things back over to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's able to get it up close to the 35, but hang on here. Penalty marker down. And this one might be going the other way.
Return team.
So that will push him back.
First down.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back. That penalty will move them back.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play.
Hurry up, here we go. 3:19. 3:19.
The toss out to Barkley. Oh, a nice spin. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll run it again with Barkley. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now a toss right to Barkley. Pushing through the contact. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got just pin their ears back and get after him now.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
Garoppolo looks to throw. A loss of 8 on the play, and it brings up 4th. Here's Bradley Pinion now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And taken right on the 30. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
And he's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just kind of have a grin on his face every time his number is called. Because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays. Nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
That was a nicely run slant route. And what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On second down, here's Jackson. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he coughed it up. And this is going to be 49er football. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them. Big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. Now Garoppolo throwing on second. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
Yeah, it's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. Barkley, toss play left. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle? Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The rush defense stout on first down. Here's second and 10 from the 20. On second down, Jackson. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Carlson now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The 49ers offense now. They work their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On second down, here's Garoppolo. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third.
His struggles finding open receivers continue. I don't know the last time I saw him this inconsistent throwing the football.
It would be hard to find a date when he was this inconsistent. In his locker, he keeps the word poise printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. He needs to find that poise right now.
He certainly does. In fact, I would suggest he laminate it.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Taylor, and he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
A beautiful fake. Touchdown, Vikings! Tyreek Hill taking it goal line to goal line, 100 yards. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This will be fielded at the 8. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Garoppolo again here on 2nd and 10. Throw right side, taken in by Pettis. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown score to this point.
Leopard! Watch it now, Barney! Hut!
They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. The tackle made by the corner, Jimmy Smith. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, Steel Curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the Steel Curtain was played. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because if you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you could put yourself in jeopardy.
Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
A gain of 6 there on 1st. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Garoppolo to throw on 2nd down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give him credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Gold able to tack on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Gold now out to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. He has really been buoyed here by a strong running attack. They've been great on the ground.
And have enjoyed the entire process, because oftentimes when you're running the football well, that's much more of a team effort. Everyone has to come together to make it work. Offensive line, wide receivers, the tight ends when they're on the field, maybe an extra running back leading. It is a really nice thing to see, a team type of thing. And guess what? The quarterback, he can get out of the locker room a whole lot faster after this game. The interviews are going to go to the running back.
Yeah, now we hit the home stretch here in the 4th with their lead. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, Freeman. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
No. Check. Patriot. Watch him now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. And before the second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Leopard. Over.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. The Vikings on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12.
Gun!
Jackson from the shotgun. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside.
All right, now, lucky 56.
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. Going deep downfield for Ross. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that. But there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
That time a 6-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Carlson now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10. One final try now for Garoppolo. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Vikings, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they also will exit this one at 2-2. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Day,
you